Okay, so the pattern page of Ravelry. You click on Ravelry and it brings you to pattern search. And I never search here. I always click on pattern browser advanced search because, I'm advanced, so that's what we need. But I would recommend that for everybody. So click in advanced and it brings you, and I'm sorry for this being like filmed funny. So it brings you to a page that looks like this, and it just will kind of pull up like all sorts of patterns. But what you want to do, and this is where it's especially useful for handspun or art yarn, if you're a spinner or a collector of eccentric yarn, is you can narrow stuff down. So let's say you have one skein of awesome bulky weight yarn around 80 yards, and you're like, what am I going to make with this? So the first, you can search, and this is where if you already have like designers or whatever, or if your favorite patterns in your notebook, then you can click this, be like, I want it to be a pattern I already like, I want it from one of my designers, even if I don't already like their pattern, I know I like what they make. And you could click yarn in my stash if you were on top of things, which I'm not, and actually had yarn in your stash. And let's see, so we're going to try to, let's say we want to make an accessory. So you can see you just keep like narrowing it down. So I'm always a fan of cows. So let's just go with all neck and torso. So then that narrows it down there. And then, like I said, it's a little weird. Like I said, I really wish Ravelry would update its interface a little bit. But you do it that way. You can, some patterns are free, and you see a lot of patterns are free. And then some you can purchase online, and they're usually like, I feel like, $3 to $6. Like, it's not that serious of a purchase. And you can pay with PayPal, which I usually do because it's quick and safe. But if you wanted it to just be a free pattern, then you click there. And, you can kind of, I never really use this, so you could narrow it down if you wanted to with that sort of stuff. And I love that mature content is an option, like, for if you do or don't want your knitting to have, I don't even know what mature content would be. Naked people on it, I guess. I don't know. So, let's see. So then, like I said, you could put down, like, if you wanted it to just be for an adult and not for a child. And what else? Weight. Oh, this is important. So if you have, like I said, our hypothetical yarn is 80 yards of like a 2-ply bulky. And so I would go to, and I always click kind of more than one, like errant weight, especially with handspun, because it can kind of go up or down depending on needles or how hard, tight, or loose you hook. I usually will click bulky and errant weight. Errant weight, I think, is more of a European term, and it's very similar to bulky. So, and if you really want to get crazy, click super bulky just to kind of like see what the options are. So I usually will click kind of 2 or 3 options. Like if it's between worsted, I might kind of put like worsted and DK, I usually will select a couple just to kind of see like what all's out there. And then, so the 2 I use the most are, the, weight, and then you come down here to yardage. So I like to use, you can either use something for where the 80 yards is all you're going to use, or if you wanted to use it as part of something larger, which I do a lot and encourage a lot of people to do if you have a particular skein of something that's fabulous, but it's maybe one of a kind or you made it or whatever. I would select maybe up to 300 yards just to see what all, like I said, you can always use other yarns with it. So then out of my favorites or favorite designers, and with all that, you see all the criteria at the top, this is what it pulled up. So let's see, like I said, I like a lot of these. So you could click on this one, and let's say we liked this one. And you could be like, well, I'm going to make the ribbing in the, particular art yarn or handspun I have, and I'm going to do the middle in like a cool off-white or gray, so that's how, like I said, I look at stuff where I'm like, I don't have 130 yards of all this one skein I picked up on vacation, but I do have, like, I can get a cool neutral color to go in the middle. So I do that a lot with my stuff. So that would be a possibility. Or you could, that one actually has more than one yarn. So like I said, you can kind of go through here, or you can try to find something that is smaller. Like I said, you can back out and just get something that's smaller if you just wanted to use like the one skein. And that would usually be better for like a hat or gloves or something, but I'd selected neckwear, so this is what we're getting. So like I said, really any of these you could, like I said, I do kind of one accent color and then do the rest in like a gray or something. And this is where, like I said, you can click up here in projects and see what other people are doing. Like, I'm willing to bet somebody else has used more than one color of yarn. Yeah, see, this person did like a rainbow effect. So you could definitely do some different colors if you had just like a little bit of something left over you wanted to use. So that's where, oh, this person did multicolors too. So that's where that's useful. So that is the number one thing that I say that people use Ravelry for, and that I use Ravelry for personally, is the search feature, and that's under patterns. So like I said, you narrow it down through this, and you know, like I said, so you can, people talk about Ravelry as being like the ultimate rabbit hole. Like, you can definitely get sucked in looking at patterns, and you can search for like stuffed toys if you got kids or grandkids or friends with kids, like baby clothes, I mean, home goods, like all sorts of stuff. So that is the main thing. But and that's where, like, when you're starting, like, go through and like favorite some stuff. And I definitely recommend, like, you can type in, let's see, up here in search, if you have like a designer you already know you like, you can search there. And then just, I would recommend going and like favorite some designers, because then that at least, that really helps like narrow stuff down. Or go through and like favorite some different patterns that you like. And if you have friends that knit or crochet and they recommend a pattern to you, you can come in here and search it and then favorite it, which the way you would do that, like let's say we want to favorite this, is you would then click on save to favorites, and then that adds it to the favorites. If you are starting a project and you want to add it to like your project section, you would put cast on project, and then that takes you to where you can fill in like, you know, what all you're doing. Add to library. The library versus favorites are like everything you like, whereas library's like, I have this pattern. So if you bought the pattern or you saved the pattern, it was free, it'll be in your library. If you just like it but you haven't bought it yet, it's going to be in favorites. So that's what's up there. If somebody sends you a message, then this little envelope will have a like a number or something. And let's see what else. So that's the number one thing I feel like people use it for. The other function that is nice is there is a forum section, which I once again have had mixed reviews on. So let's get to the forum. Okay, so the forum section on Ravelry, I do have mixed feelings on, but you would click on forums, and these are kind of the, you can go in, and if you have, like I said, a local, this is a yarn shop, you can join group somehow, kind of, so I have done that for a lot of my local yarn groups, but I don't find, yeah, see, there's Atomic Fibers, and I don't feel like a lot of them, like, yeah, see, Atomic Fibers, if you live near Oak Ridge, they have a sock club, you know, you can get on here and see, like, when things are happening, they have free patterns, so, like I said, it looks like Atomic Fibers is doing, like, a good job on Ravelry, whereas, like, other people, you know, including mine, so I'm not hating, don't have too much in there, so, you can kind of join different forums of designers that you like, or local shops that you like, or local knitting groups you can find on Ravelry. And then there's some that are like already on here. So for example, I like, this is the same designer that did that sweater we were just talking about. It's her and Alicia Plummer and Melissa. I'm not even going to try to butcher her last name, but I love their stuff. So this is their group. And so there's all these different discussions, and I haven't done one recently, but knit-alongs or crochet-alongs will happen on here, which are always fun, and it's where the designer usually has like a prize at the end, and they give you kind of a start date and an end date, and you know, everybody post pictures, so you know, you can really, if you want to be social, like, you can definitely do that. You can show off your finished projects. Also, designers will release new patterns, and usually you'll get a discount or whatever first. So, you know, if you like a particular designer, it's definitely like worth being in their, you know, little board and checking it occasionally to see. Let's see there's also, let's go back out. And one thing I wish they would update is like on Facebook when you, or like Instagram, like pretty much anything else. Like if you're in like people or follow people or whatever, you'll get notifications of like, hey, there's a new message or new pattern. And with the forums, like, it's not that way. And I'm pretty easy to confuse. So like I'll start doing something and then I either A, won't get back on Ravelry, or B, will get on Ravelry, but there's no notification of like, hey, there's new responses to your message. So, like, on a forum post, and then I forget where it is. So I do really wish they would update that, but it has yet to happen. But there's also you can buy, there's like buy or sale threads, which I, every once in a blue moon, will post something in there for, like we're having a big sale or whatever. But I honestly don't do it that much because people will get kind of like butthurt about stuff. I don't know why. Like, even if you're a business, I don't know, people will just get weird. So I don't do it too often, but every once in a while if it's like a big something. So you can look for, like, if you have too much of something, you can sell stuff or post things or whatever on here. And let's see, I'm trying to find, oh yeah, and down here at the bottom, these are, and good, nobody's been mean on this one. Kind of like on Facebook, how you can have like, dislike, like laughing face or whatever. Like, this is the same idea. The one thing I really hate on here is they have this agree and disagree. I wish they had like a dislike instead, because this is where I get irritated with Ravelry forums, is somebody will post something totally, like, not even a business. I've just seen it on, like, somebody will post like, hey, I made these socks. And then you'll have, and like a bunch of people will be like, click love or whatever. And then somebody, like one or two random people will hit like dislike, or not dislike, disagree. And that always annoys me to like no end, because I'm just like, those are indeed socks, my friend. Like, how are you disagreeing with that? So I don't know. I know I should not let it bug me, but I always hate to see that. I feel like Ravelry forums can kind of have like internet trolls that way, that will just like like I said, I've posted things that are like, hey, I'm giving away this yarn if you want to enter for a giveaway. And I'll have people, oh, look, there's mine from our drop spindle workshop. Let's see if anybody's disagreed. Oh, good, nobody's disagreed yet. And you'll have people be like, disagree. And once again, I want to be like, well, I don't know, friend. I am actually giving that yarn away, whether you agree with it or not. So I don't know. That's so if you post anything and somebody clicks disagree on like some random socks you posted, like, just accept that they're dorks and don't worry about it. But if you wanted to post something, you would click reply or like start a new thread or whatever, and it all pretty much looks the same. The one weird thing here, you type, it's pretty, and this is where I wish it was not like so old looking, but you would type like whatever you wanted to put. And if you want to add a picture, like if you're doing a knit along, you have to click on this little thing, which, I mean, how in the world do you know that's supposed to be an image? I don't know. And you can then upload stuff. And this is, I have paid the $5 for the year, because it's a business account, to have the ability to upload something from my like phone or computer. But if you don't, you can upload it as a project, like a photo from your stash or from a project. So that's like one way to kind of get away from that, is like add a picture to like a project, and then you can just upload it that way. Like I said, Ravelry has some peculiarities, but if not, like I said, it's like $5 a year, I believe, and then it just lets you like click here and upload stuff. So that, and then you would type and just hit like submit. So that's kind of the rundown on forums. Let's see, we covered notebook, we covered, they said if you're friends with people, and I apologize if you're my friend and I like never talk to you on here. I don't ever, like I said, you can find people, you can search groups. This was actually, we do have a group. Let's see if anybody's saying anything in our group. We have a group. Oh, look, there's actually people in it now. And we did attempt to kind of do like the knit along or the crochet along in here. And like nobody, like all of our people tend to be in our Facebook group, which I like better anyhow. But we do like, feel free to come join our group. And if we get more interaction, I will put more attention that way. But you can, if you want to find like a knitting group in your area, you can search groups. And that actually helped me make a lot of friends in Washington. So I would recommend put in like wherever you live and then join some groups. So that is a really good, like you should definitely do that. So I think that is that's pretty much my on Ravelry, and I hope it's helpful. If you have any specific questions, let me know. And I'm sorry this video is kind of wonky, but that's what's up. So like I said, most people use it for patterns, and I do really love the, I mean, that's by far the best. I think, is like I said, you can definitely, it is very useful for, like I said, if you have yarn either you made or like I said that you bought that like last awesome thing that was on sale and you only have like one of, being able to narrow down projects and then you know, look at different options of how to use different colors together, I find super helpful. So hope you do too.